He is the man in the yellow tux. In fact, last time I checked, he had 9 of them. I don't know if that has grown since. You know him for his work with the Savannah Bananas and Banana Ball, the phenomenon that has swept the nation. What you might not know is he's one of us from the South Shore, grew up a Red Sox fan. Jesse Cole joins us. Jesse, Todd Care, and Alex Spear here, 310 to left. I got to ask you right out of the gate. This thing has gone crazy. It's gotten so big. You have millions of people on the waiting list. We know the story. But where does playing at Fenway Park fit in with the dreams come true that you've experienced over the last few years?
This is as big as it gets. For a kid that grew up in Scituate, watching Jody Reed and Wade Boggs and Phil Plantier and Mo Vaughn and all those guys as I was a kid. I know those are some names you haven't heard in a while, but that's who I was watching. To all of a sudden then, seeing the World Series run. It was everything. I mean, I bought $5 bleacher tickets back in the day, and I got to be honorary bat boy for the Red Sox for a game and had some very special moments. I got to pitch at Fenway, when I was 20 years old in an All-Star game in the Cranberry League. And so now to be able to, bring the Bananas, sold out crowd, over 37,000 fans. It's hard to describe the feelings that myself and everyone in our organization is feeling going into this.
So how exactly did you go from watching the Movons and Phil Plantiers of the world to thinking, you know what, I'm going to topple the entire structure of baseball on its head and reimagine how the sport looks?
Well, that wasn't the goal. The goal was, again, to play. And, I was fortunate, Boston College offered a scholarship, Northeastern offered a scholarship. I went down south to Wofford to play in some warmer weather after my senior year in high school, getting snow on April 1st. So I think I made that decision was slightly wisely. But, I had the goal to play professional baseball, tore my shoulder. That ended my career. I never play again. And I somehow got in the front office as an intern working for a team, became a general manager, struggled like crazy, ended up buying a team, and then went to Savannah. And when I started Savannah, I realized that, hey, minor league baseball just hasn't been working out in this market. We need to change the game and we need to make it fun. And so I said, what if we had, dancing players, break dancing coaches, we had a senior citizen dance team, the Banana Nanas, a male cheerleading team, the Mananas. I said, let's just having fun. And we did that and started working in traditional baseball. But I realized that fans were still leaving games early. And I said, we need to go all the way. And that's when we started creating Banana Ball. And my idea book back in 2018, started writing out ideas, and we tested. And so, basically it goes from watching the game to watching your fans and watching every movement and watching, what would be the most exciting baseball game to watch? How do you eliminate the boring things like the mound visits and the walks and the stepping out of the box? And how do you add the fans into the game, like fans catching foul balls for outs? We just looked at it all and then just started testing. And, with a one city world tour 3 years ago to now, playing in front of 1 million fans this year, 6 major league stadiums, and then, at Fenway Park, you couldn't write this stuff up.
And getting a crowd, as I understand it, to come watch the World Tour announcement, right? You actually have a crowd on hand to watch where you're going to play next season be announced.
It was wild, 250,000 people watching it online, and fans flew in from 37 states, 4 countries for our schedule release. It is wild. And, but that makes us feel like we have a responsibility. And that's why every night we do 10 to 15 things we've never done in front of a live crowd every single night. And that's part of our, obligation to make sure that it is special, it is unique, it is exciting. And, we've been working on these plans for Fenway for a while, and, we're working every minute to try to make sure this is a show no one will ever forget.
So it's fascinating for me to think about like kind of that level of detail and the perspective that you're bringing to the idea of entertainment. You reference on the website that some of your influences are P.T. Barnum as well as Walt Disney. Obviously, you worked in the minor league world, but as someone who I kind of geeked out at times about popular entertainments, I'm interested. Like who are your influences? How have you formed this idea of what qualifies as entertainment, and how did you who are the influences that formed Banana Ball?
Yeah, well, it started with Walt Disney. I've read every book that ever was written about Walt Disney, and I'm one of the few people that when I go to Walt Disney, I'm just looking at everything. I'm looking at like the trash cans. I'm going in, I'm in the bathrooms. I'm like, why are you walking around a bathroom looking around? Like, I'm looking at every single detail because I became obsessed with the experience. And, P.T. Barnum, how to create attention, how to bring a group of misfits together to get people excited about something special. That's kind of what we're doing. We're bringing a group of people that, didn't get the opportunity to play Major League Baseball. Many of them AA, AAA, but never get that final level to come together and put on a show. And, I look at everyone. I mean, I studied Amazon, I studied Apple, I studied the Grateful Dead. In the Grateful Dead, you have deadheads traveling around the country. Even now, many years after Jerry Garcia, they're still selling out places. And that's what it's about. And they're doing a different show every night. And I'm obsessed with the experience. I put myself in our fans' shoes. Like George Lucas said when he created Star Wars, you want to create a movie that he would love. And I'm trying to create a game that I would love, that I want to get bored at. And now my 6-year-old son and my 5-year-old daughter and my wife and my whole family, that they want to watch every single second. They don't even want to turn away. They don't want to go to the bathroom because they may miss something. That's the game we're trying to create.
I'm trying to imagine Banana and company playing the Sphere, but that's for another day. We'll get to that. I'll just an idea, Jesse. Take it and run.
One day
listen,
we'll play
one thing that wouldn't that be amazing? Field of dreams around you in the Sphere. But one thing that blows me away is how many former major leaguers now you've gotten to come play, right? And we're not just talking guys the last couple of years. I mean, Roger Clemens came and played. You're like, how did that start, and how have you sort of fed that conduit to keep that as an option?
It started with Jake Peavy, another, obviously a Red Sox hero in 2013. And, our One City World Tour was in Mobile, Alabama. And he's from Mobile, and he heard about it, he wanted to join us. And he came to that game. We had him throw the first banana, because why would we do a first pitch? That's too normal. So he threw out the first banana. And afterwards, his nephew was there, and his nephew had just quit baseball. Great baseball player. He quit baseball. I said it was too boring. It just wasn't fun for him. His nephew watched the entire game, went to Jake after the game and said, "I'm back. I want to play because of this." And from that moment, Jake was like, "I've seen it. I felt it firsthand." And so Jake just kept connecting us with more guys. And, from there, I think we've had now 4 or 5 Cy Young Award winners pitch for us, numerous All-Stars, World Series champions. And what's crazy is they reach out for us. They just want to have fun. And, obviously many Red Sox guys, Johnny Damon, Johnny Gomes, Papelbon in the past, they just want to have fun. And I think as I talk to every major leaguer that reaches out, I said, if you're at an opportunity to go out and it's not so serious, it's not so competitive, your kids can actually see you in front of a sold out crowd, smiling and having fun the way the game was supposed to be played. And they get fired up. And I keep everybody a surprise. And it's really special moments that we create. And we've had a lot more reach out for future games, and we'll see where it goes.
I told you about this last year when we talked. I'm actually going to let you hear from him. You've had a profound effect on multiple major leaguers, but Jonathan Papelbon talks about playing for the Bananas as saving him in some ways. He was disillusioned with baseball. Here's what he said last week at Fenway Park when he was inducted into the Red Sox Hall of Fame. Check this out.
Well, then I had this really man, this baseball game is, man, I hate it. I don't I want no part of it. And then I realized after playing with the Savannah Bananas, really and truthfully, this is crazy that man, I love this game. What am I doing? And I got to be a part of this game for as long as I can, because
Jesse, how cool is that?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And he was all about it. He put on his kilt and he got out and he danced and he had fun. And, it takes a lot, a competitor like him, to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to have fun. And that means we've kept a great relationship. So thanks for sharing. That's pretty special.